This is Seeds Podcast, bringing you tips, conversations, and information about applied behavior analysis.
Welcome to another episode of Seed Podcast. Today we're going to talk about BCBA, and we're very fortunate to have Cindy as our guest today. She will be sharing with us what is BCBA. Cindy, do you mind doing an introduction about yourself?
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm the program supervisor at SEED and I'm a BCBA.
Cindy, what is BCBA?
BCBA stands for Board Certified Behavior Analyst.
And so it's a credential, right?
Yes.
So for our viewers and audience who didn't know, we recently made a previous episode that talks about RBT. So RBT is also one of the credential, and today we're going to talk about BCBA, which is another credential that is provided by the BACB. Cindy, can you briefly tell us your experience on your journey towards gaining this certification?
So in order for someone to get a BCBA, so you need to have a master or doctoral in the behavior analysis, educations, or psychology. So after you have the master, and then you need to complete the coursework, and then you need to collect your experience, so which is 1,005 hours, and then you sit for the board exam.
Right. And throughout this whole journey, what was the most challenging part? Because it is quite a long journey, right? I think we were in the program together and we took about 1.5 years to 2 years to complete everything. What do you think is the most challenging part of the journey?
I think the most challenging part is sitting for the board exam, because that is the most stressful experience. So like before we actually sit for the exam, we're preparing for the exam, my colleagues and I, we will share the information, like some of the practice questions, and then every day we will just like ask each other like what are the questions that we encountered and we couldn't do.
So we practice a lot together during that period of time. But before that, we also because our masters was not in ABA, right? So we had to do an additional coursework with FIT, Florida Institute of Technology. We did it online, right? And we had to go for classes. Outside of working hours.
So every day we have to watch like a few videos, and then we have to do the quizzes and some reading assignments. That's very stressful, and and we still have to sit for the final exam every term.
So that was the very stressful part for me. Like every day I have to go for classes and remember to go for classes. So after you gain your certification, how did you feel after you realized that you passed?
On the day when the result is released, that was very stressful. Like we couldn't sleep the whole night. We wake up like a few times, and then the moment when we got the exam and we got the results, I actually burst into tears. Like on the road, I was like, is it too happy or too very sad?
Or like relief.
I think it's a relief.
You don't have to take it again. But besides BCBA, there is also another undergraduate level certification, right? That's the BCBA. That's for, and we also have some colleagues who took that exam as well, right? That's not too different from the BCBA exam. But it's just that's for the undergraduate, and then for people who have graduate degrees, then we take the BCBA, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Cindy, the reason why I wanted to have you on this episode today is also because I feel like you have a very unique experience in that you have experience working in preschools in Malaysia prior to becoming an ABA therapist. So you were an RBT before becoming a BCBA, right? So I just want to ask you, what do you think you have learned after gaining the certification that you think you can apply, thinking back to your experience when you're working in a preschool?
I remember last time when I was a teacher in the preschool, the most challenging part is that when the students has like challenging behavior, like inappropriate behavior, for example, like they don't want to do the homework, they don't want to follow the instructions, I find it very helpless. Like I don't know what to do. Like what I can do is just like scolding, just like how other teachers are doing that time. So other than scolding them, I have no idea what else I can do.
Were they children with special needs, or were they typical children?
No, they're just typical children.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
even for typical children, I myself find it very hard
Very
at time
hard, yeah.
how to handle their behavior,
Yeah.
and I have no knowledge, and nobody actually teach me on how to handle their behavior. So other than scolding them, and some of the teacher will usually use cane to just like, I don't know, like threaten them,
scare them.
to scare them,
Okay,
But then it's not useful at all, because they will just continue to do it.
Oh, because the next day or the next week they come back. It's still the
Yeah,
same
even
thing.
like after a few minutes, they will just like disobey your instruction again. Yeah.
So then you find that after gaining more knowledge in the field of ABA, that would if you ever go back to a preschool setting, do you think you would do something differently?
Yes, definitely, because like after getting the BCBA, like we know like how like it's very important to know the functions of the behavior, like know why the students behave certain way, like why they do what they do.
Right.
So, and from that, then I have a better idea on how to handling their behavior. So other than reducing their inappropriate behavior, I also like will look at what are skills that I need to teach them in order to reduce their behavior, and also at the same time teach that, like reinforce the good behavior.
Yeah. Because not all the time they are having these challenging behaviors, right?
Correct.
So Cindy, preschool experience was an experience that you had prior to joining SEED. So after you joined SEED, you have joined SEED for more than 3 years now.
Yeah.
What is your job scope now at SEED as a BCBA?
So now, as an independent practitioner, so then I'm required to supervise the children like, on my own, instead of like last time there's a supervisor who supervise me.
Right.
Yeah, and other than that, I need to provide more training, like RBT training, and some other training in the school setting, and also for the public.
Right. So when you were a therapist, you were really only focused on working daily, day in, day out with one-on-one with the children that we serve. But then now there's this training component.
Correct.
Besides that, what do you do for the children? So now that you have become a BCBA, I think we manage cases, we manage teams. What do you do for the children specifically?
So we will do assessment. So we will assess the children's like skills level, and also their learning barriers, and then from there we will come out with we will write individualized education plan.
Right.
Yeah. So we will target some of the skills that the children doesn't have. Also we will write behavior intervention plan. Yeah, to tackle some of the challenging behavior.
Right. And then so training, assessment, and then of course designing the treatment programs according to our assessments.
Correct.
Right. Do you also do parent training?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. What do you find most rewarding after becoming a BCBA?
After becoming a BC, the difference I think is that like last time when I was still an RBT, I provide direct training to the children. So what I can do is very limited, because I can do it directly with the children.
Right.
But now I can train the RBT, I can train the parents or the teacher to do what I was doing last time. So now, in a way, actually can help more people.
Right. You're right. I think you mentioned a very important point where now you're in a position where you can disseminate the knowledge to more people. I guess then when they can show us what we have trained them to do, then that's the reinforcing part of the job. Nice. Then, besides the rewarding part, there are also a lot of struggles that come with this position.
Yes, definitely.
Can you share with us some of your struggles?
I think the most struggling part is that even though I'm a BCBA now, but I feel like that there are more things that I don't know. Yeah, so it's like the constant learning about the new things, and like we don't know what we don't know. So every time when the kids has a new problem, then we have to like, oh no, what should we do next? It's like even though we have all those some of the knowledge, but then I feel that it's still not enough. So we have to constant learning, which I have to remind myself, okay, I cannot just stop here. I have to keep on learning.
Correct. And because the MBA is a science and it's always evolving, so I guess what we know maybe 5 years before is not so applicable right now already, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I agree with you. We cannot just stop there and this is a never-ending journey that we always have to keep
Yes.
learning. So Cindy, just now you have shared with us a little bit about your journey of becoming BCBA and also your personal experience on how you find this position and this job rewarding and some of the things that you struggle with and we can continue to work on. Now I'd just like to dive into the job that you do every day for the kids that we serve. So at Seed Autism, we work mainly with children who are on the autism spectrum or other related disorders. So what are some of the skills or treatment programs that you have experienced designing for the children that you work with?
Some of the treatment programs are like, for example, language program, communication skills, play skills, social skills, or even academic skills and self-help skills.
Oh, it sounds like it's a very thorough and holistic kind of program, and it does sound like there are a lot of skills to be worked on, and some children do need some help, a little bit of help in each area. How do you prioritize or choose which skills to work on first?
Like I said just now earlier, we will start from assess the children's level and also their learning barrier first. So usually we will choose the most pivotal skills to work on and also to reduce some of the learning barrier first.
I see. And what are some of the examples of learning barriers that you have come across?
For example, they have difficulty in mending, requesting or imitations, and also even like they cannot, they have difficulties following instructions.
Right. And you have found that once if you target these learning barriers and try to reduce them, then like for example, you mentioned imitation just now.
Correct.
So once you've taught them imitation, then the play skill will come about.
And can teach them more things.
Right. So you will prioritize decreasing the learning barriers first.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. So we've come to the end of our episode today. Thank you, Cindy, for joining us, and thank you for sharing with us your journey of becoming BCBA and share some of the things that you are working on when you are already in this position. So we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.